Hi everyone, I'm Executive Director Dana Kayal with Epicure, and I'm going to walk you through your prospecting lists and sharing now on social, because I know so many of you have shared that you can't wait to jump in and you want to know what you can do now. So we're going to go through that. I'm just going to turn off my camera now, and we're just going to go without me because you don't need to see me, and we'll concentrate on our PowerPoint, and we will rock and roll. So let's jump in. So the first thing I want to share with you is, this is from our opportunity brochure. This gives you an idea of how much time you can put into your business and what you can look at. So if you've got 15 hours a week to work a business, for example, you could develop a full-time flexible income. If you want to just work maybe 2-3 hours a week, that would be one cooking class a week, and that would give you probably about $400 a month. So everything in between, you don't have to have a lot of time. So if you thought you needed way more time than this for an Epicure business, this might help you see that you don't. And really, with 2 cooking classes a week, that's really the level that can help earn you trips and incentives, give you, $800 a month just in your own sales. And then, of course, as you build a team, that income will increase with that, 6 to 8 hours. Okay, so let's jump in. Okay, so we have got our new consultant workbook, which is part of our proven system, right? So I just want to talk to you here about the dates on this book. You'll see here now, if you would like a copy, if you're for sure starting in July and you really just want to organize yourself and you'd like a copy of this now to be able to read through it, I will absolutely email you a copy. Let me know. If you want to wait till it comes in your kit, that's cool as well. So there's some dates on here. So we have a lot of rewards. So as a brand new consultant, you have tons of perks, and let's go through those. So if you're starting in July, here's what this would look like. So month 1 for you isn't July, because July is the pre-launch month. So you get your kit in July and you kind of do nothing. You can do nothing, or, oh boy, you can pre-launch with a bang. But none of that time in July counts towards your month 1, okay? So your August is when we launch. That would be considered the date you purchase your kit as far as our Fast Start program goes. So how we work it with Epicure is your month 1 is your start month plus to the end of whatever the next month is, right? So if you decide to start your business, August 29th, August would be your launch month, and then you would have all of September to do your first month of your Fast Start. Now, for those of you starting in July, you have got this enormous window. I was talking to one lady who was saying, you know what, gosh, if I get to start doing classes in July, even though I can't order until August, she's expecting to have the rewards for month 3 completed by easily September or October. So you've got this huge window. If you want to sit back and just do a few things, have a couple of classes with friends, invite people over for open houses or launch events, you can do that. If you want to jump in and start doing cooking classes, just letting everybody know they can't order until August, you can absolutely do that as well. And of course, that's what I would recommend. But it will work it'll be what works with your life. So September would be the end of your month 1, right? So you've got all of July, all of August, and all of September to work your month 1. Now, the cool thing about month 1 in Epicure is that all of your hosts in your first, quote, month get a $40 VIP host booking coupon. Okay, so that is enormous. So that means that every cooking class you do for yourself or for somebody else in July, August, or September, they all get that bonus because you get extra time, the benefit of being in the US, okay? You get all these cool extra perks. So your month 2 will end on October 31st. Month 3 ends on November 30th. So now just we're going to go into the rewards that you can earn. That's going to be a whole extra training. But just suffice it to say that when you have 4 classes in your month one, of course, you make all that income and you get your bonus for having $2,000 in sales in a month. And your hosts get those $40 bonuses. And when you do the 4, so you're going to get paid whether you do 1 class or 28. When you do 4 in your first month, and again, remember that's basically 2.5 months. When you do 4 in your first month, you're going to get a $100 shopping spree with Epicure. When you do 8 by the end of month 2, now you can do 8 in month 1, but when you do 8 by the end of month 2, you will get your kit cost refunded to you. And when you do 12 by the end of month 3, and again, remember, you can do 12 in August if you want. That's totally fine. But you have until the end of November to do 12 cooking classes. And when you do that, you will earn a $250 event voucher and $150 in free Epicure. So you don't want to delay because you're going to get all of these extra perks. And I love that you have all this extra time to play with your kit. So let's jump in. Let's talk about who can you help with your business. Who do you know that likes to have fun? Like these are people, these names, or these are people that are probably maybe looking to join your team, right? People that like to have fun. People that are really connected. People who love food. Who do you know that loves food? Who do you know that's looking for income? Who do you know that's an entrepreneur and loves that sort of life? Who do you know looking to retire that might want to build something now? And who wants to share health? Right? That's the ideal people to look for to start in your business. And though we have so many people that we can help with Epicure, so with our hosts, there's also so many options with our customers. Like, who do you know that needs new recipes? Do you know that studies say that the average person makes the same 7 meals on repeat? I know I'd be bored out of my tree. So I'm sure a lot of people are. They just don't know any other fast meals that they can put on the table that are, put on the table easily that they're familiar with. We can give them that familiarity, and that's the benefit of a cooking class. They come, they see the food put together in 20 minutes, and let me tell you, it's not 10 people jumping in together to make a meal in 20 minutes. We're not scamming, the time frame like that. It's one person, various people from the group helping, but one person at a time for the most part making the meal, so you can see how you could do that at home. Okay, so you're going to get new recipe ideas. People are going to learn how to make faster meals with our time-saving cookware and our spice blends. Who do you know that wants tastier meals? Maybe they're just bored. They need to punch it up a little bit. Who do you know that wants to make their food healthier? Who do you know that reads labels, right? Who are these people? So this is just to start your brain thinking on this process. Who do you know that hates to cook? Right? We love helping people that hate to cook because we're going to show them it's not as bad as you think. We're going to give you a couple extra fantastic options. So now prospecting, what typically happens if you've ever been in the industry before, you know that you start with your warm market. Most people start with their family and friends, right? So you might book a cooking class with your mother, and then you might book one with your sister, and then you might book one with your aunt, and then maybe your other sister. So that's fantastic. Those people always, jump up and help us. And trust me, if they don't always, that's okay, because that doesn't always happen. But for the most part, those people want to jump up and help us. They're excited to see what we're doing and find out more about it. But I want you to think beyond that circle, because in direct sales, you are never successful with staying in your tight social circle. And we have so many more social circles than we talk about. So think about your coworkers, neighbors, people that you have a hobby with, your service providers. I got to tell you, one of my first 4 classes was done by my dentist's wife. Now that was 21 years ago when I started my business. So the beautiful thing about this business is that it spans any season of life. I started with a 1-year-old baby. My teenagers are grown up and moved out of the house. I have just a 17-year-old now at home. I have moved. I've got all of these things that I can bring to you to help you with your business, to help you brainstorm these circles. So think about who you know that you might not live close to anymore, but might be fascinated, by what we have to offer. Make sure you reach out to them. And there's something that's super duper important to me. We're not the company that just sort of rifles through your old yearbooks and goes like, oh yeah, I haven't called Judy and reached out to Judy in 20 years, but I'm going to hit her up. That's really not who we are. Like certainly Julie, if you know that she loves food, then hey, you love food, check this out. You might be interested in it. But for this, just to sort of spam people, we do not really recommend, or I absolutely do not recommend those, hey girl, I think you'll be loving this generic message that goes out to everybody. That's just icky. I've had so many of those and I have never been enticed. I've never been attracted by that. I immediately think, oh, you know what? That's kind of spammy. I've reached out to a number of people that have done that to me and said, hey, is this how your upline teaches you? Because I've got some other ideas that might work better for you. And for the most part, that's what's being taught. So that's not how we're going to teach you in Epicure, because I know that I just want to block that person, especially if I haven't seen them in forever and they're reaching out to me in that way. So I want you to start making your list of people that you know. The big expansive list, and I just want you to brainstorm. It's just a brain dump. I want you to think, put people, I don't want you to edit. I don't want you to say, well, you know what, Sally doesn't cook, or Sally has a chef, or oh gosh, I don't think that person would like this. I'm not going to call Uncle Jimmy. Just brainstorm a list with hundreds of names on it. The brainstorming process of writing down Uncle Jimmy makes you think of somebody else. It's just a process to basically brain dump all of those names. And this isn't something you do once. This is something, that I would do once or twice a year. Who else have I added to my social circle? When I'm being very effective with my cooking classes, I'm not necessarily looking outside my social circle for new customers, but I'm always wondering who I can help. Who do I know that wants a healthier meal? Who do I know that needs what I have to offer? Who do I know that needs me? Right? So think about that, and then I can brainstorm that into my social circle and figure out who I'm going to contact first. Now, another way to think about who you know, when you're making your master list, here's this, look at that. Who's somebody with food sensitivities? Who do you know that's a people person? Who do you know that's a team player? Those people might necessarily be somebody for your business. But somebody who's health conscious might just be your next best customer or your host that cannot wait to share this. I have met hosts at the gym. I met a host at the dump actually, because I had a sign on my card. She's like, oh, that looks like food. I love food, right? So just start thinking this through for people that might be your first best hosts and or who might be a great person to join your team, because every direct sales business is multifaceted. You will do cooking classes and share the product, and then you also sponsor and build a team. So it's a two-pronged approach to spreading Epicure. If Sylvie had just basically only done cooking classes, I wouldn't be here today, and neither would be another 1,800 people that are part of my organization. So I really want you to think through who you know, and this is a massive opportunity. This is a ground floor opportunity. So really share that with people that you're reaching out to across the US. And here's the thing, everybody eats, right? We don't have a limited market. We are not that product that only certain people might use. And of course, eating is something people do 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. So this is a massive, massive opportunity. When I tell people that, my team sold $6.5 million in Epicure last year, people's jaw drop. They think direct sales is a tiny industry. That's just my organization. And I'm only one of the top 10 leaders in the company. That means that is a small drop in the massive organizations in Epicure. So we have got this huge, huge business. And I love that I run a $6.5 million organization out of my home office. You know what? And I have help. That's the great thing about when you get a business that big, is that you hire people to support you and help you, and that you're not doing, I'm not taking care of that by myself. Okay, so let's talk about a business launch class and what that looks like. So our business model is cooking classes, and they're not complicated. We talked about how it's 20 minutes, so I'm going to tell you about the class that I'm going to do tonight. So we're going to do the Good Mexican class. So my host is going to have on hand a couple of peppers, a couple avocado, a couple chicken breasts, some lime juice, and a bag of rice. No, some tortillas. She's got tortillas for tonight. So that's what we're going to do. I think she might have some Greek yogurt. Yes, we have Greek yogurt as well. So it really is as simple as chopping up our peppers, seasoning our chicken, and putting the peppers and the seasoning and the chicken together in our steamer. And I'm going to pop that in her microwave. Now, of course, we could also pan fry it. I'm going to pop that in her microwave for about 5 to 6 minutes, and that's going to be done, right? How crazy is that? And in the meantime, we're going to whip up some guacamole, and we're going to whip up a fresh salsa. We're going to make both of those in a matter of minutes. And ding, the microwave goes, and it's not that crazy microwave food that you might be expecting. It's tender and delicious, and it melts in your mouth. And absolutely, if you prefer to do it in a frying pan, you can totally do that. We have a fantastic frying pan you can do that in. So that is a cooking class. We basically showed them, look, we put this whole meal together in 15 minutes. We showed them how to make guacamole. We showed them how to make fresh salsa with tomatoes from their garden or canned tomatoes, whatever they have on hand. We showed them how to make the delicious hot fajitas ready to eat in 15 minutes. How many people do you know that would love to be able to have hot, fresh fajitas in 15 minutes before they've got to race back out to something in the evening, kids' sports or an event or something like that? So you want to book your launch classes, because this is going to blow people out of the water. So now a launch class, one of the benefits of a launch class, well, it's a great place for you to invite all your local contacts, right? You can invite them in to see and share. And I highly recommend you book 2 launch classes. Book one for like a midweek, and then book another one on an evening. And that way, when you invite people, if they can't make the midweek one, then you can offer the second date. I don't offer 2 dates right from the beginning. That's kind of hard to keep track of. I really just offer one, and then when they say, oh gosh, I can't make your Wednesday night, I go, well, you know what? We've got a second option for you. We've got this Sunday evening as well at 6 o'clock, if that works better for you. Now, when you do your launch classes, you get to be the host, okay? So all of those fantastic host rewards that we have, your hosts get to use. You get to be that host. You get all of that free product, and then you can add all sorts of things inexpensively, basically free, to your business kit and your kitchen. And of course, you get those $40 bonuses as well, because you're a host, right? So how fantastic is that? You're going to be completely able to load your kitchen while showing everybody how exciting this is, and then they can book their own classes. Now, many people may book their own classes before you even do a launch class, depending on your schedule. You would typically be able to receive your kit in a week to 10 days from the time that you order it. And of course, you can do that on July the 8th. So you could be doing launch classes by mid-July and showing people, and then loading your calendar going forward in whatever way that works for you. Now, what can you do now? All right, you're waiting. It's not quite July. You're like, I'm chomping at the bit. I want to get going. Start sharing socially. Okay, most everybody's on social media, whether it's your favorite thing or not. Sometimes I'm like, oh, we need a break from social. Other times I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to check in with people all over the country and see what they're doing, and I love social. So wherever you are with the social, it's really a great way to get to know people and to share and to build excitement. So in Epicure, we talked about we're never spammy. So I'm not going to be putting, 10 posts a day. Maybe 10 posts a day is excessive regardless. I have a lady that I absolutely love her product. Her entire social media on her personal timeline is just her product. And I don't want to just see that all the time. Even though I love the product, it just feels overwhelming. And it's actually against Facebook rules to be constantly selling on your timeline. So the great thing is that Epicure does the legwork for us. They have made us these gorgeous images that we can use on our timelines, groups, and business pages. Now, timeline, my rule of thumb would be maybe 8 to 10 life posts, a couple business posts. Most of my business posts are really about my lifestyle and about my food. Because here's the thing, the #1 shared videos on Facebook are food videos. They are. Isn't that crazy? So food is highly shareable. People love food. People love food ideas. They love recipe ideas. So right away when you get your kit, start sharing some of the food that you make. Throw those things on your timeline, 100%. Whether you decide to make a group or a business page, those are options for you as well. If you want to brainstorm the different ideas, feel free to connect with me. We also do that in new consultant training. But start sharing. You don't need to have a group or a business page yet. You haven't started your business, but share things on your timeline. You're not yet an entrepreneur. You're getting ready to be one. And I would absolutely be sharing with your friends, because you're going to have people that are going to want to jump in and join you. And I know I've had some people say, but I don't know if I want to sponsor. So I just want to share a little story about my friend Leanne. Now, back when I started my business, there was no social. So I reached out to my family by snail mail. I mailed them a catalog and I sent a little letter and I said, hey, who do you know that loves food or might be looking for a little extra money or an excuse to get out of the house and talk to tall people, right? I had a 1-year-old at the time. So I had a message from my aunt, or a phone call from, it wouldn't have been a message, it would have been a phone call from my aunt to say, hey, I've got this girl you should call. Her name is Leanne, and I know she loves food, and she's home with a couple of young kids. And I called Leanne, and she's like, oh gosh, you know what? I really don't think that's for me. I'm not sure. And I sent her some samples. And then she's like, holy crap, this stuff is amazing. She had a couple of tastes, and then she's like, okay, how do I make money? So Leanne was at that point in her life that she was putting the fruit back. She would get to the grocery store and the fruit just could not stay in the cart. It wasn't in her budget. So, she was really struggling with that. She had the 2 young babies that she really wanted to give healthy food to. And I told her about, hey, you can make $100 an evening doing a class. And she's like, well, I do love food, so let's do this. Leanne now makes a hefty 6-figure income in her Epicure business. And if I had not reached out to people to say, hey, who do you know that this might work for? Leanne would, gosh knows what she'd be doing, but she certainly wouldn't be making a 6-figure income from home, being a stay-at-home mom with her girls. Right? So I really, really encourage you to think about who you know and who needs us. It's not about spamming people. It's about finding out who needs us and who needs you. So in Epicure, we really like to focus on attraction marketing. So here's an example post. This is one of the beautiful images that Epicure has made for us. You could say something like, only 3 weeks until my business launches. I'm so excited to help people eat better while saving time and money. You want people to go, what? What is that all about? Right? You want to create curiosity. You want to invite questions. So that is what we like to do in Epicure. And of course, the meals, when I post a meal, people are like, oh my gosh, what did you use? How did you make that? That looks so good. So that's really how we meet people. And I find it to be shockingly easy. As I shared in my information video, I knew nothing about direct sales. I knew nothing about sales in general. Gosh, if I could be successful, anybody can. That old phrase, and it's 100% true. So there's tons of images. I will put a bunch in the group. So that's an example, but I will put some images in the group that you can start using, and you can start posting on your own social to drive excitement and curiosity. Okay. Now let's go into our next training. So our next training is the 13th, which is Thursday, and that is prep for your business launch, and I'm going to show you a cooking class. Okay, so I'm going to put an event out. Hopefully I'll get a bunch of people to join me, because the cooking class is really just not nearly as much fun if I'm not online with people. I may end up just sharing one for my customer group, for my consultant group, if that works better. If I can't have people join me live, because it's going to be the same thing for you, but if you're live with me, then I can interact and you can see what's happening. So that is our training schedule that's coming up. Product knowledge coming up on the 18th. So this is where I'm going to go over a bunch of different Epicure basics about the product so you can get to see what's happening. Hey, you're on video. I can't see that. Hi. Oh, actually, I just realized they can't. My daughter's in the room, but you can't see her because I turned off this camera. So that's a beautiful part about working from home, is that your kids can walk right into your office and say hi, and you get to see your kids way more often. So on the 18th, we're going to do product knowledge. On the 24th, we're going to go over the comp plan basics. It's going to blow your mind what you're going to be able to earn in Epicure, even just in your first 3 months. I'll give you a little hint right now. Every single person that joins your team and does a cooking class in your first 3 months earns you a $50 bonus. So I know some of you are planning to start with 5 and 6 people that you've got ready to start with you. That's fantastic. You're going to be able to earn bonuses, and when they promote and earn levels, you get bonuses. Everybody wins in Epicure. And I said at the last time, right, my motto that I have in my office wall, to help others, to be successful in life is to help others succeed in theirs. And that's a quote from Epicure's founder, Sylvie Rochat. Now on the 27th, we're going to do a Q&A. And then of course, we're going to go and do some detailed training as of July 9th. And we can jump into new consultant training. Much of it will be similar to what you've seen here, but you'll be really ready to get your teeth sunk in as of July. So I thank you so much for joining us. Oh, wait. We're not done yet. We're going to talk about Vegas. Reminder that US consultants that start in July get free registration for Vegas conference. If you just Google Vegas conference or Epicure conference, that you'll get the link that will come up. You can check out all the details of conference. You don't have to get into our back-end system to see the details. You can get yourself excited and get the date set up so you can come and join us, because of course we're going to have TED Talks from our TED type talks from our Science and Nutrition Advisory Board. We're going to have fantastic industry training and Epicure specific training that will really help you get off to an amazing start. So I want to thank you very much for joining us, and remember, feel free to share this video with your potentials and add them to our Facebook group so they're always informed of when the next training is coming. Now I'm going to turn off the recording now, and sorry, I'm going to stop the recording, and then I'll do any questions offside. Thanks, everybody.